I'm Steve Cartman. Welcome to M4G TV Music Guitar Lessons. This is lesson number 1. Basically, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the strings, how to tune, and then a little bit of some of the chords that we're going to go through in further lessons. Okay, so first things first, when you pick up a guitar, you're going to look at it and you're going to think, this is a guitar, which it is, you're right. Basically, it has 6 strings, and they are E, A, E, G, yes, G string, haha, B, and an E. Now, the way I always remembered this when I was learning, and still do when I need to, was elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Because it's E, A, D, G, B, E. That's how I always remembered it. So the tuning you want to be in is the same, E, A, D, G, B, E. And the way you tune, obviously, you need to find out the first note, which is an E, which that sounds like an E to me, if my guitar's in G, which it should be. And then what I want to do is go across to the 5th fret. These are called frets here, in between little metal things. So we're going for the 5th one. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you hold your finger on the 5th fret of the string above, and then hit that one and the one below, they're meant to sound the same if they're in tune. So let's find out, shall we? That sounds like tune to me. And if you do that for all the strings, up until you get to the G string, that's why I laughed at G string, so you remembered it, hey, you have to, for some reason, go from the 5th to the 4th. And then back, when you go to the B, to the 5th. Because G strings are weird. But we all love them secretly. So that's pretty much what you need to know, really, when you get started. And then you tune with these things. So if I put this one out of tune, so you want to go 5th, which is obviously out now. So you want to do the machine head up until you get the right note. There we go. Now it's back in tune again, hopefully. Yes. Some guitars are different because mine, you've got the 6 in a row. Some of them you have 3 on top, 3 on bottom. It depends completely on your headstock, but there's no real difference to how you tune it. It's just where the machine heads are positioned on the head. Okay, so the first thing I learned when I was playing guitar was 3 chords, and well, to be honest with you, that's all I learned when I played guitar. The rest of it I taught myself from watching various videos on the internet and watching other guitarists play. I just pick things up by ear, and now I can play guitar just from learning 3 simple chords. And it didn't take me long to learn, so hopefully you guys should be able to follow me, keep up, and you'll be alright, and we'll be rocking out and shredding solos before you know it. The first chord is an A chord, which should sound a little bit something like this. Pretty nice chord, pretty standard really, and also incredibly easy to play. So it's all on the 2nd fret. You don't really need to worry too much, don't have to stretch too much. It's an easy chord, it's fine. We want to start off with the D string, which is the 3rd string. You want to put your index finger, if I believe that is the index finger, onto the 2nd fret on the D string. And then you want to put your middle finger, which I'm not going to show you, on the 2nd fret on the G string. So far we have. And then whilst we're there, you might as well put your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the B string. And then we have an A chord. And how you strum it really it depends on the song and the rhythmic pattern that you want to do. It's an A chord. Lovely, isn't it? And then you want to go from an A into an E chord. This one's a little bit trickier than the A, but it's still a relatively easy chord to play. I've never had any problem with it. Hopefully you guys shouldn't either. So again, most of it's on the 2nd fret. So you play from A, and we go to the E. Doesn't look too hard, does it? So you want to put your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. And then your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. And then with your index finger, which is just left here hanging about doing nothing, you want to put that to use. You want to be able to sort of teach that finger to play guitar. Finger, do it. Because the index finger is a little, yeah, it's lazy. So you want to put that on the first fret of the G string, like that. Hopefully, if you're playing along right now, you should sound something like that. If you sound like this, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, it's just simply not hard at all. Now the transaction between the both, or transition, whichever word you want to use, that is the part that you're really going to need to sort of practice and get up to speed with, because that's probably the hardest part of playing guitar, is from switching from one chord to another. It depends on what chords you go from and to, but that's the most difficult part, is doing that. Okay, so yes, transaction between both shouldn't be too hard. And then you want to go to the D chord, which, again, it's not too hard, but it's a little bit harder than the E. Again, just practice will make it better, really. There's nothing else you can say apart from practice makes perfect. It's very cliche, I know, but hey, there you go. So this one, you want to put, again, second fret, index finger, on the second fret of the G string. Easy enough. And then this is where it gets a bit difficult. If you haven't stretched fingers enough really from playing, then it will be a bit difficult, but it will come in time. You want to put your ring finger on the third fret of the B string. Okay? And then with your middle finger left over, you want to put that back on the second fret, but on the E string. Okay? And that should make a D chord. So now all together we should have A, E and D. Hopefully you'll be able to pause this video a lot through the power of the internet to be able to practice these. And the pattern you should really get, or the chord sequence should I say, is from the A to the E to the D back to the E. So in time it should be able to sound a little bit something like this. So that's how it should sound. Like I said, the power of the internet, the technology that you have nowadays, you should be able to pause it and play along with me. So what have we learned in this lesson then? We've learned the name of the strings, how to tune the strings, a little bit about the guitar, not much, because to be honest with you, you don't really need to know a lot until you start playing more and get more into the guitar. And we will talk about that in further lessons, like the make of guitar and different brands and whatnot. And we've also learned the A, E and D chords, which is simple enough, and a lot of songs are made from the A and D chord. I'm sure if you googled it or YouTubed it, you could find a list of songs that are primarily played with A and D that you could go home and practice and learn and then play for your parents and annoy the hell out of them like I used to do. Alright then, well thank you very much for listening, and hopefully I will see you next week. Come back and we will learn more chords and more different things next week. Cheers guys, take care.